So why does layering matter? It's about helping the right ingredients get where they need to go. Especially for those of us over 50 with mature skin, we want the best absorption possible. We want our skin to remain calm. We don't want to agitate it. And we don't want any reactions or pilling. Here's the one rule I wish someone had told me sooner. Not only is it to go from thinnest to thickest, but to go from water-based to oil-based. Sometimes as we age, we do want to add things that have some oils or emollient properties in them, barrier protective ingredients in them. Knowing when to use them and in the correct order is very helpful to getting the results you want. So let's break this down. What does that mean? First, you want your watery products. For me, I use like an essential water, I use toners, hyaluronic acid, vitamin C. Then you would do your thicker serums or creams like retinoids or peptides. And then if you use an oil or an occlusive moisturizer, you would put that last. As you do skincare, you do have to prep it to receive the ingredients you want it to get. If you don't put the toner on your face to get the pH right, if you don't use the essence to kind of continue to moisturize and prepare your skin for that hyaluronic acid, then even at the multiple weights of hyaluronic acid, those molecules have a harder time being received into your skin. So that's one of the lessons I learned that I think has been most helpful is having these ingredients is great, but if you don't prep your skin and use them in the right order, they're on your skin and I'm sure you'll get some benefit, but not at all like the kind of result you're going to get if you truly go through the right steps of layering. So let's talk about morning versus nighttime layering. The ingredients you use in the morning are mostly about protection. A very general morning routine would include a very gentle cleanser, and if you don't cleanse, use a toner to cleanse off the night residue and the night skincare. That toner gets the pH right, and the essence gives your skin some moisture that will help draw in the products that you put on top. Then I would do your vitamin C serum, hyaluronic acid, then your peptides, a moisturizer, and an SPF. At night, it's more about repair. I double cleanse. I start with an oil-based cleanser. I love the L'Occitane oil cleanser, but there's so many that you can use. And then I use a very gentle cleanser on top of that. And my skin is clean. It's not stripped, it's just clean. 2 to 3 times a week, you'd use a gentle exfoliant. If you are just starting, I would use a lactic acid or a mandelic acid. And I'll put some recommendations down below. I have moved myself up to a glycolic acid that's in a lotion. And so I will put that on 2 to 3 nights a week. Then I use a peptide. Now, not everybody uses a peptide in the morning and the night, but I do. You don't have to. If I were doing a peptide and a retinoid, I would do the peptide and then the retinoid. But that's this step. So you can go with one or you can go with both. The next thing is your moisturizer. And then if you want to use a botanical oil, I love the Melove 31 oil, and I just put that on top, and then I put my moisturizer on top of that. I use a couple of moisturizers. You don't have to do all the things I do. Someone said I could never put all that goo on my face, and it made me laugh because I did not realize that my skin was so dry and lackluster until I started doing these things that made me feel plumpy. I just know that it's working for me. I've seen my skin transform. I'll put a picture up here of when I was 58 and then compared to this year, now that I'm 61. I think my skin looks more inflamed and textured and dull in the first picture than it does here. So I do believe that learning how to layer skincare products and learning how to care for your skin and keep it healthy and fresh and turning over and giving your skin those topical ingredients can truly transform your skin. I think I can see the difference it's made in my skin. What do you think? Now, just a few things to watch for. If you look up skincare and ingredients that you should not mix, there are a few combos that they recommend you avoid. I'm going to share those with you. You want to be very careful to only do one thing at a time, to onboard things slowly, and If you're just starting, try to be mindful of these ingredients and maybe alternate them every other night. So they say you don't want to mix retinoids and an AHA and a BHA. One way to do that is to do your retinoid at night and an AHA, BHA, or a polyglutamic acid in the morning. You can do that right after you cleanse your skin and right before you do anything else. I think that's what my daughter does. She uses the Paula's Choice and it has transformed her skin. So she doesn't do it at night, she does it in the morning, 2 to 3 times a week. The next is vitamin C and niacinamide. I think the reason for this is niacinamide, which is a B3, is an ingredient that some people find agitates their skin. If you don't want to use a B3, you could use a B5, which is panthenol, and it is less agitating. I use the Needleless serum and my vitamin C. Like I said, I do them in that vitamin C, then niacinamide. And in that Needleless serum, it has so many things. It has peptides, argireline, it has matrixyl 3000. Anyway, it has all these different things in it that I enjoy. So I do that every morning. But if you have sensitive skin, you don't want to use niacinamide with it, and you maybe want to just go ahead and try the panthenol, which is B5, for what that's worth. And then the last thing, which I mentioned a moment ago, is too many skincare actives. Start with 1 or 2, then add things, but do it gradually. Do it for 2 to 3 to 4 weeks. Then add something in. If you want a quick reference, I'll put a link down below for a little cheat sheet you can download on how to layer your skincare. And if you have any part of your routine that's confusing or you have any questions, place them down below. I'm happy to answer your questions. So if you liked this video, you might like this one next. It's 5 mistakes to avoid in your anti-aging skincare regimen so you can get the results you want for younger looking skin. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.